Well, hey, everybody, all you YouTubers, subscribers, followers, Muni mathematicians, Muni writers, everyone in the entire universe. This is your Muni mathematical maestro, Peter Felton, and I've got some late breaking news for you that's very exciting regarding Muni, math, and school children all at the same time. Today, Monday, July 12th, 2021, the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency initialized the SFMTA, abbreviated Muni for short, here in San Francisco, announced that effective August 15th, 2021, which is the day before the new 2021-2022 school year begins, all youth ages 5 up to 19 in San Francisco will be allowed to ride Muni absolutely free of charge. Now, since March 2013, around 8.5 years ago, Muni riders who were ages 5 to 18 and whose families qualified for the free Muni for Youth program when it first began and to this day were allowed free ridership on Muni. But parents had to provide the San Francisco City local government with proof that they made a minimum or maximum income threshold within a certain bracket based on the number of people in their household, including their children. But effective Sunday, August 15th, 2021, all children, whether or not you go to school, but you should be going to school. If you're thinking of dropping out and just hanging around and staying at home playing video games, that's a big no-no. And trust me, when I make a point, I have to point my index finger. So basically, you can hop on board Muni absolutely free. You don't have to pay a fare, you don't have to scan your Clipper card, but you should keep a form of ID with you. Now, some school children actually do get legal local state IDs that tells people when they legally turn age 21. Just in case you're thinking of sneaking into any nightclubs or drinking a drop or two of alcohol, you really don't want to do that. So don't fake it. But if you do have a school ID, whether you are in elementary, middle, high school, or even your freshman year of college, because by then you definitely are still 18, 19 years old, and even a little bit into your sophomore year as well, in the event that proof of payment officers, who basically are kind of like combination Muni police officers, security guards, if they hop on board a bus, or if you see them at a bus stop and they say, "Can you please show me proof of payment?" If you say, "Well, sorry, officer, I don't have any," then they'll say, if you're a youth, they'll say, "Well, can you please show me some valid form of ID?" So if you have a government ID, it has to be valid. If it expires or is about to expire, you have to get it renewed at your local DMV. If you don't have valid government ID, but you have a valid school ID, which means it is the current school year, or if it's the summertime, then it's for the school year that just passed, just show it to them and they will accept it. So that's the late breaking news, and it's a very exciting new era for Muni because Muni, as well as San Francisco Mayor London Breed, want to get youth to ride Muni more. Now, what's interesting about this is that school children, especially children who go to public schools, have basically ridden Muni forever, even during these times of the coronavirus. And interestingly enough, during morning and evening weekday rush hours, or peak periods as they're also called, you will get as many children riding Muni as adults. And sometimes families will ride Muni, especially if they're grandparents and they're taking care of the children while the parents are off to work. Also, of course, sometimes parents will take Muni en route to their jobs, and students will take Muni en route to their schools. If they happen to be able to take the same routes, any or all of the given distance, then it's riding Muni is a family affair. So basically, bus routes, and buses themselves, can basically be filled to the brim with school children as well as adults during rush hour. And children have every right to ride Muni, just like adults. And for people out there who think that kids are the cause of all the problems on buses or all the problems out in public, well, expletive you. That's all I'll say. Adults cause just as many problems as kids. Know it. But, as you can tell, I'm a teacher, so I really do support the well-being of children in and outside of school. I'm not a parent, but I definitely care about children. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a teacher. Now, what that means is that because kids are commuting to and from school, they, of course, have to abide by Muni safety guidelines and other policies, but it also means that they have the same rights as adults to ride buses. So when you see kids on board buses, if you're an adult, don't confront them unless they really are doing something dangerous. And also, don't get upset if they don't have proof of payment, because effective today, effective August 15th, but breaking news today, they will be able to ride for free. So, now, the teacher in me is about to come out because, as you know, my channel, Muni Math by Peter Felton, features Muni videos that are related to math. So here's a math exercise for all you children and adults alike. If you once had to pay a certain price, whatever it may have been, to ride public transportation, but then all of a sudden you get to pay $0.00, how much of a percentage did you get was reduced? Excuse me. How much of a percentage reduction was reduced when you went from paying your fare in full to not having to pay a penny? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's an all or nothing deal when it comes to percentages. Conversely, for adults, if you don't get a fare reduction, how much of a percentage was cut from your fare? Again, it's a nothing or all deal. Now, I may have some bad news, though. First of all, this free Muni for youth, in terms of all children, whether you go to public or private school, whether you're as young as 5 or as old as 19, whether your family comes from a wealthy background or a not-so-wealthy background, this, free for all Muni, if you will, for youth, will take effect only for the 2021-2022 school year. Why? Because Muni will have to see, will it lose money during that time because kids are no longer required to pay their fare? Will they have to raise adult fares and adult monthly passes at that? Will adults be happy about that? Well, I think we can guess the answer. Muni may also have to raise the senior fares for Muni riders who are over the age of 64. And maybe even the Lifeline pass at that. And, if people can't afford the fare increase and stop riding Muni, then Muni will end up losing money, and they may have to cut the free Muni for youth for every single youth out there, as opposed to those whose families financially qualify. Now, here's a little bit of personal history here, because I've been an adult the entire time that the free Muni for youth program has been in effect. I will never be able to take advantage of it. However, if there are any San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency personnel or City Hall politicians watching this video, perhaps you could consider making Muni free for all teachers out there. Because we work with kids, and if kids are taking Muni primarily to go to school, to be taught by us and get a good education and help improve the future of this world, maybe we should get in a little bit on the profits, eh? Just a little food for thought. But more on that to follow in the due course of time. Muni will continually keep everyone updated. I have posted a link to the article describing the updated free Muni for Youth program. It's in the description to my video here, so click on the link to find more about basically everything I've just said, albeit in writing and officially released on Muni's official website, sfmta.com. So, hold on to these while you can, kids. They may be collector's items if you never ever have to use them again. You never know. Your Clipper card. And here's a fun fact. The former director of the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency, also known as Muni, Ed Reskin, is actually my neighbor. I see him out and about walking his dog all the time. Now, of course, if you think I'm going to tell you where I live right here in a public video, you're sadly mistaken. I obviously live in San Francisco, otherwise I wouldn't be riding Muni, but either way. And I've met him on board Muni because since he was no longer the director of Muni because he retired 2 years ago in 2019, but even before that, when he was going to work as Muni director, he would ride Muni every single day. And I really thought that was very noble because no other Muni directors, at least not during my lifetime, have ever ridden Muni to and from work, and some didn't even ride Muni at all. You know, so they're in charge of something that they don't know anything about firsthand. But Ed Reskin was the exception, and I really tip my hat to him, or in this case, my bald head. And he and I would talk, and I told him about my first book, Daily Public Transit Ridership, The Inside Scoop. He was very enthusiastic and supportive, and even told me that he bought a copy of it. I was really touched. And I hope he's enjoyed reading it. He hasn't given me any feedback on it, but that's quite all right. So it's really cool, you know, to have this connection with a mini local celebrity. I've also met the current director of BART. I have a picture of him on my Facebook account, of him and I standing next to each other at Civic Center Station in October 2019, when he was kind of going around the system, introducing himself and taking feedback from the public on how BART was going and what we thought could be improved. And I naturally did put my 2 cents in, even though you have to pay a lot more than that to ride BART, I can tell you. But, all right, so when you're on board Muni, whether you're a school student or an adult, keep your eyes on those digital destination signs that scroll by with news, other related announcements, and of course announcing stops automatically and robotically, because you may see some Muni math equations up there. We've done some related to percentage here, and decimal value, and whole number money value. But again, if you see any on those destination signs, it'll help you a lot for school. I'm serious. It'll really help you improve your math. And of course, you can feast your eyes on all the videos I have here at my channel for further edification on that. All right, well, I hope you're all enjoying your summer. As you know, it's foggy in San Francisco, and as Mark Twain said, the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. I've currently got the heat on. That's the sound that you might be hearing in the background. But hey, that's the way it goes. Of course, if you want to talk heat during the summertime, we've got a drought going on, we've got wildfires. Of course, the coronavirus and the new Delta variant are still very much imminent, even though Californians are now legally able to remove their masks based on what Gavin Newsom, as governor, said not too long ago. So yeah, is California the hot spot in a positive way? Yeah. But incidentally, since that video in which I said that it had been a year since I last rode Muni, well, I have taken Amtrak twice. Once was in April on the route called the Capitol Corridor that goes from Emeryville to Sacramento. It's about a 2-hour ride. And once just a couple weeks ago in late June for a nice vacation that I took to Southern California. I rode the Coast Starlight from Emeryville, California, all the way down to Santa Barbara. Gorgeous ride. So those were the first times that I've taken public transportation since my 1-year plus sabbatical from riding Muni. And of course, you've got to wear your mask when you're on board. Any type of public transportation. That's not going to change anytime soon. You know, even though social distancing is kind of slowly but surely maneuvered its way, just like an articulation joint on the buses and LRVs, still stay safe. And still use your best judgment. All right, take good care. I look forward to reading your comments if you have any, and maybe I'll see you on board Muni. If you're a student, I envy you. You don't have to pay a penny. I'm an adult. I got to pay a heck of a lot more. But that's the way it goes. All right. Peace out. Salutations. Love you.